So the evidence against David is damning, but a lot of people are still asking this massive question. How on earth could somebody be so twisted and sick and just criminally, not criminally insane, but just deranged to murder a little girl that he was having a relationship with, allegedly, chop her into pieces and put her in different bags and leave her in the trunk of your Tesla for months? This guy is so sick and twisted, I can't even comprehend it. So in this video, I just wanted to look at a couple of posts that are going around just about David's mindset and the mentality. And a lot of people are asking, what is wrong with this guy? And there's this really interesting post that I thought was kind of quite telling. This is called The Duality of a Public Figure Who is a Sexual Predator. So I just thought this was interesting because it's like, these are the kinds of like whiny, negative reposts that David was reposting when he was actually out here on these streets, right? And I just thought this title was kind of very interesting because it's like the duality. He is a public figure. He's putting out this stuff in public about how hurt he is. But now we know he's a predator dealing with minors. It all just hits differently. And I think it just says a lot about the sort of twisted, sick individual and a sick mind that we was dealing with. It says, no offense, but I've decided I'm going to stop being sad and start being unbelievably powerful, creative, and full of love and light. Stop being sad. What about your relationships that are illegal with a minor, that your underage girlfriend is actually planning to expose you for exactly what you are? It's so weird, right? And this is the type of thing he would post all the time. A lot of really weird, twisted stuff that just is this duality, all right? This is one he posted. It said, me watching her scream after I poured boiling water on her after she told a boy happy birthday because why are you happy he made it another year? This is like a joke, but a lot of people do jokes. And really, it's telling of the truth, right? A lot of the truth is said in jest. A lot of truth is said as jokes. And he's posting this like, oh, this is like a funny parody of a controlling boyfriend. Nah, buddy. This is really what you're on. This is what you're like. You're so jealous, writing all these songs about betrayal and jealousy. Come to find out you got two minors allegedly in two different properties. You going back and forth between them on Valentine's Day. And then you got the audacity to post stuff like this. It's crazy. This one, he said, I will tolerate no Benson Boone hate amongst my fan base, please. I love him and his music. We spread love and positivity only. Who is Benson? I don't even know who Benson Boone is. Benson Boone? Is this guy got an issue? Has he got a scandal? Is something going on with him? What's going on with him? Apparently, maybe people just don't like him. He's got some interesting backstory. I'm not seeing anything crazy for him. This is a poster for the missing Celeste, age 13. Now, what's really interesting is I saw another poster going around, and it basically said that, you know, she'd been seen around the Hollywood Hills, so they knew where she was at. Someone posted this. I hadn't seen this one before. It said, this guy is a weirdo. A close friend's little sister from the Inland Empire ran away last year, and this is who she was with. We think her sister was pimping her out. She was in 7th grade at the time. LAPD sweeped his place in the hills, and we know that's true now. I'm terrified that's who's in the car, and nobody has heard from her in months. I won't release names as she's still a minor, but she was from Lake Elsinore. Damn. So then this is the sort of throwback Discord posts where in 2022, David's talking about Celeste in here, and Celeste replying, hi, David Bark. And then this is the Discord messages where people are confirming David, pretty sure he's dating. He has a girlfriend. Her name is Celeste. Okay. This is a picture of him with her covering her face with a handbag, but we know who she is. We know now. Ain't no covering it up. This is old images of them together. I haven't seen this picture before, actually. So this is December 12th, 2023. 2023. Damn. So then he's reposting stuff like this, trust God's plan. And this is mid-2024, so this would have been right in the midst of their relationship. A few months after she went missing the second time. Trips to London, trips to Texas. It's right in the midst of their relationship. Someone said, ain't you 17? They said, David, a big promoter of lying about your age. I ain't seen that post before, and that's in 2023. Okay. Obviously, delete everything. This is infamous now at this point. Said David made that once on stream with his girlfriend. Said one time he called me because he's trying to delete that stream with his girlfriend. Delete everything. There's another David repost said, when you always consider their feelings, but they never consider yours. And so this is someone going back. This is Ponzalo, and we've talked about this in a previous video I did. And the new video that I recorded today that I couldn't upload, we go into somebody else who apparently knew Ponzalo, and he tells the whole story of why Ponzalo actually tried to expose David and then why he backtracked. Really interesting video. I can't upload it, and people were really upset that I was doing members only videos, so I guess you won't get that video. But so maybe I'll upload it tomorrow if I can go through and censor it. But anyway, this is the picture of Celeste's finger with the David tattoo and the engagement ring. I don't think enough people make a big enough deal about the engagement ring. Like, he was engaged to a minor, bro. Like, this is effed up. This is the apparent messages between them in 2022, where Celeste said, "My parents are so annoying, they won't let me go see you perform." And he said, "Don't worry, I'll fix it." So this is the post I was talking about, right? So Ponzalo posted this, and it's a screenshot of somebody else posting the missing poster of Celeste. But they said she was last seen in the Hollywood Hills area. She's 13 years old. So the fact that she was seen in the Hollywood Hills area and people were putting that out publicly, not enough has been said about that. And so this is Ponzalo trying to prove that he knows that David's messing with minors. He says, "This is the girl. She came back home in March, then went missing again in like April. And we now know that's all true." And I touched on this in my previous video too. Damn, I'm going to get that video together for you guys. I'm just going to go through it and blur out anything that's not right. But anyway, this is someone called Robin River. This is possibly one of the first people to actually mention and air David out for messing with minors. This is waiting for LAPD to get your ass with messing with a 13-year-old girl. This is on the 27th of February, 2024, just days after she would have returned home after going missing for the first time to meet David on Valentine's Day. So this is on 2025 after the body was found. People calling him David Epstein Burke. People saying David is Epstein. Sophia saying, "I swear to God, I've been telling this guy, you got to be careful." Now this is what happened. Okay. Is it even a secret when it seems like everyone around him at least had an inkling? I mean, the man surrounds himself with edgelords, but with a sane adult, that shit wouldn't slide. So the next post that I want to show you in relation to this is just to like really just try and get an idea of what kind of sick, twisted individual would do this. So this is a post saying, "I still don't get what is actually wrong with this man. I know it was clearly something wrong with him since childhood, but I'll never understand it. I'll never understand anything he did. Why date a minor, then kill her for it? Why dismember her body and then don't even try and hide it? Why do you have 40 terabytes of evidence on your hard drive? It's like this man did absolutely nothing to be hidden, but at the same time tried to be the Riddler." So it says, "Honestly, I just think he's a cold-blooded narcissist / psychopath. I don't really even think he planned on doing this. I think maybe he fantasized about it, but I think it just comes down to him being a selfish guy. When Celeste threatened to ruin his career, I think he saw her simply as an obstacle between him and his fame, and so he felt that he needed to remove that obstacle. He's sick, a self-absorbed person with no capability for empathy. He's just been masking his real self for a long time through school, then homeschool, then fame, just watching others, taking their personality traits and making them his own to seem relatable. It obviously worked. It made him famous. That's the scary part. If you ever encounter these traits in someone, run. There have been times in life where I felt a weird feeling about someone but tried to ignore my intuition because I was just being crazy, but that person ended up turning into a murderer as well. So what I'm trying to get at is we all need to listen to our gut more. Our intuition knows far more than we give it credit. I know it's a little different when it's a celebrity or fan relationship. You don't actually know that person, but even in personal relationships, we tend to want to ignore our own gut for the fear of coming off crazy, weird, or paranoid, or whatever. We have to stop that. I'm sure David gave some people the creeps, even if they couldn't put their finger on it or didn't want to recognize it. He's a sick, narcissistic psychopath. There are others in the world just like him. Don't let yourself or people you love fall victim to this fake charm." People saying, "Well, I think you're mostly right. He's a strange case because he admitted himself he intentionally desensitized himself to gore over the years. The psychopathy was likely always present, but it's difficult to say whether he would have acted on his fantasies at such a young age without this external influence breaking down the barriers in his mind." People saying, "I always thought he was weird, but everyone told me I just didn't understand his music. Mind you, I was born in the 90s. I went through a whole era of good music. But him, how he always tried to relate to a younger crowd and that Fortnite stuff always creeped me out about him. Said I heard his song that went viral or whatever, got him attention and cooled off. He freaked out and kept trying to get it back." Yeah, so it says it's not 40 terabytes of evidence on the hard drive. Yeah, we get that. So it says language matters, to be honest, and no one should be saying that they dated. He didn't date a minor, he groomed a minor. Said he valued his career and money more than Celeste. He was simply greedy and selfish. Says, as somebody who's really into psychology and crime, I've always asked myself, why do people do what they do when it comes to such horrific acts? One thing that set me free was when I read or heard someone say, you don't understand because you would never do it. That makes perfect sense. Exactly. They do it because they're sick. Normal people can't understand their mindset. It's easy to tell ourselves this, but anyone can become a monster. We're sadly all capable of it, even if we think it's highly unlikely we ever would. But it's dangerous to make it seem like normal people could never murder. Says, yeah, I can see that. I think this is why I also go based on evidence and motive, because it's not so black and white like everyone once assumed. Also, I agree we have our limits, and if our limits are pushed enough, we're capable of things we never thought possible. So it says, stop trying to understand him. This man is a monster, and a stupid one at that. None of us should really have any of those answers except for him. The only question we can answer is that he killed her simply because she threatened to out their relationship to the world and ruin his career. Only David can provide us with why he dismembered her, but did nothing with the body. People saying, nope, people need to understand this man because he is a learning lesson for everyone. What he did, how he manipulated, and how others were fooled by a celebrity is important to understand. People saying, I agree, sometimes there isn't a why. Some people are just malevolent. People saying, I think most people can't understand it because we're not sociopathic or psychopathic. Your brain doesn't work the same way his does within his delusions. All right, this is a long one, but let's get into it. Why does anybody commit horrific crimes? Child abusers in general, they want to feel powerful and control. Part of me thinks that some of it's wrapped up in David's insecurity in dealing with women his own age. He was homeschooled starting in middle school. He always talked about living vicariously through people he chatted with online when it came to romantic relationships, since he missed out on love and heartbreak during his high school years. So I don't think he ever developed the confidence and social skills to interact with his female peers, so he probably felt more comfortable with a minor because he had more of an advantage. He was older and had more money, therefore he was able to exert more control. But murder, the prosecution says he killed her because she threatened to go public about his involvement with her. No doubt it would have imploded his career, so he did it to silence her forever and protect his money. Yes, the logical reply would be, but murdering someone is going to put you away for longer, so that's stupid. Find me a criminal who thinks that far ahead and weighs consequences before doing anything rash. People don't commit crimes and assume they're going to get caught. I don't really think he's much more than that needs to be understood. I don't think there's really much more that needs to be understood beyond that. To do a premeditated murder like this, you have to be stupid. It's one thing to kill someone in a fit of passion, heat of the moment, overcome with anger or fear, not caring if you get caught. But to have the foresight to call someone an Uber from hours away, plot their murder and kill them, you are stupid. Also, murdering like this is unnatural. I can't begin to imagine what was going through his or any other murderer's mind. I gag every time I see a dead bird on the sidewalk. Media makes us think of murderers being cold or collected or smart or monsters, but if we remove all of that and try and imagine David as a normal 20-year-old, it makes more sense. He was afraid of both his career tanking and the jail time he would get if Celeste came forward, so he killed her. Like everyone else would, he freaked out over dealing with the body and did things stupidly and illogically. Having the body in the car is an out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. He likely figured it would eventually be impounded or crushed and forgot about the smell, or maybe he knew he would be caught eventually, but figured if he could just stretch it out long enough to do his tour, he would have accomplished his artistic goals. My thoughts are that he came to the realization early on after the murder that he would be caught no matter what. Even if he had properly disposed of her body and rid himself of all the evidence in his home, the police would be investigating Celeste's disappearance at some point anyway, so they would have found all the digital evidence. His career would have been over regardless, and he would have been known as a child predator who also likely has something to do with their disappearance. The public would be pressing him to come clean or bring Celeste home. Granted, he would be likely free on bond, on just child essay charges and illegal videos, but his life and career would be over. He knew his fate was sealed, and he probably felt safer leaving the body in the car rather than of disposing it somewhere and it coming back to him and ending his life and career earlier. He probably said something along the lines of, I'm just going to have to leave everything here and go on with my life where I know it will be safe until the day they do have to come in here for it. It says, to me, he seemed to be an immature small dude with a budding music career, caught up in meme and online culture, and wasn't going to let some girl ruin his career. The way he murdered his child girlfriend was brutal and ill-planned, but what is clear is he's a PDF and a sick person. Same sentiment towards anyone who knowingly supported him. He was TikTok-brained and sadistic and low IQ. Okay, can we translate? Nah. Femicides are not logical. He wanted to R-word a female child. Are we really surprised when S of men with... All right, I'm just going to skip that because I'm just going to get in trouble even reading that one. Lots of people have asked similar questions about this on here. Many people have given opinions on him. Just have to go back and read those posts. However, you can speculate and try and dissect this case and what his mindset was all day long. Until we know more or the trial begins, no one will know the exact answer. We may never know exactly what he was thinking or why, other than his career was on the line, so he killed her. Also, this isn't the first case of someone being popular off social media and then killing someone. Deadly influence is social media murders. Deadly Influence, the Social Media Murders is a show on ID that examines similar cases in each episode, just not nearly as extreme as David that I know of. New season airs in June. Saying monsters think in a different way to normal people. He viewed her existence as a liability to his career and a future that had to be eliminated. He no longer saw her as a human, but as evidence that had to be destroyed. Saying he's got BPD, if I had to guess, but I'm no doctor. Says, like Steve Fisher said, you can think logically about this case. This guy is a psychopath. He watched gore to desensitize himself. He talked about a murderous alter ego in multiple interviews. He probably wanted everything to play out like this because he thinks it's art and enjoys the attention. No sane person will ever understand why this monster did what he did in the manner he did. I wouldn't be surprised if the defense tries to say that Itami was responsible for Celeste's death and not David, and he pleads insanity. I think I kind of get what turned David into a monster in the sense that I was raised with a mother that was a religious fanatic, like overbearing. Everything was going to send me to hell. Everything was evil. Everything was a sin. I mean, even watching a show on television, even listening to a song on the radio, it was over traumatic and it led me to rebel. And I mean, when I rebelled bad. And I feel now that I'm older that I went to an extreme because of that. I mean, I never went as far as to murder somebody, but in a way, I kind of understand if his parents were both overbearing in a religious way and in an academic way, and at home as a parent, I feel like once he was on his own and free, he just went all the way. And the other thing that makes me believe this is because in one of his interviews, he said that he had his mom listen to his song, and she said, "Oh no, I don't like it because it's talking about killing somebody." Then he said, "Oh, I knew if my mom didn't like it, well, then it was good." It shows you right there that his actions had a lot to do with them. Interesting. People have no idea what this generation raised on phones will actually cause. It's too good of an escape from reality, and it can warp feeble minds easily, not to mention Room. David started off with a dog shit genetic I don't know about that last bit. I hope that's not saying what I think it's saying. It says he's ugly and he's weird. He was the token, never around any actual peers. He has no true identity outside of anime, and mostly he's ugly. Are we getting to the depths of the David Reddit where people are now being racist? I hope not. Okay, look, I wanted to read those posts because I really have been trying to rack my brains and understand how on earth could somebody be so disgusting, somebody be such a despicable monster. I'm not going to sit here and say David's ugly. He was looking frazzled when I see him in court. But really, I want to understand why he did this. You know, the obvious answer, he panicked. He wanted to protect his career. He wasn't going to let some girl, Celeste, get in the way of his budding music career, and maybe he was just, you know, a coward. He couldn't deal with the body. It was too messy, too dirty. He was squeamish. I'm squeamish. I'd never kill anybody, but I'm definitely not being able to deal with a dead body, right? I'll faint at the sight of blood, realistically, okay? If it's a video on Reddit, live leak, I can handle it. I'm not saying I'll be seeking that shit out like David, but I've seen some things. I've covered a lot of gang wars. I've covered the cartels. I've covered some messed up stuff, okay? I just can't imagine real deal chainsaw in the garage type scenario. So this guy must be twisted. Something's up. Is it the religious background? Was he just a dirtbag? Was he just so self-obsessed that he felt like he was willing to go to any lengths to protect his career from what Celeste was threatening? I really don't know. Okay, I'm going to try and get the other video that I recorded about this topic out for you guys, hopefully tomorrow. I'm going to have to go through it, maybe remove some things. I won't upload it as a members only because I guess some people were offended by the idea that the membership had content that like I couldn't upload elsewhere. So I don't know. I'll just come back with that video when I can. Hopefully I can post that soon. It was really, really interesting, and it had a few things I hadn't seen before. But anyway, that was just my thoughts on the mindset behind David. I wanted to do an update on that because this is sort of a collection of posts that I've been meaning to dig into and get my thoughts out on, and also get some of your thoughts on. So appreciate you guys watching this video. I just did a bunch of videos on all different topics, okay? I am tired of everyone saying all you talk about is David, okay? I got videos about Young Dolph's killer getting a crazy sentence. I did a video about a TikTok star that was charged with murder for hire, okay? It's not just Lil Durk. There's TikTokers out here getting murder for hire charges, and I did a video about a tragedy in the Maldives where 5 cave divers went to Shark Cave and lost their lives. So I'm really giving you a diverse selection of topics on this channel. Please go and support those other videos. Go and check those out. I think you can hype videos. I don't even know what you can do on YouTube anymore, man. They be changing everything every day. But just go and support those videos. I'm not going to listen to you guys complaining that all I talk about is David if you don't support the other videos that I'm doing. So I've made 5 videos today. 1 I couldn't post, and I got 3 others on all different topics. Check those out. Let me know what you think of those. If you're not interested in that, then I'll see you on the next David update. Okay, it is what it is. This is a big case, right? I'm digging for new information every day. Every time I find a tidbit, I'm bringing it to you guys to share. So I'm going to keep doing that. Okay, hopefully you guys enjoy and appreciate that. But for now, I'm out, folks. Hope you enjoyed this one. Peace.